All right. We are going live. We are live. Ooh, it went live pretty quick today. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Wow. Already some people chatting in the chat. I love it. Love it. So thanks for coming, Amanda and Cynthia. How are you guys doing?
Hello.
Good. Hello, Casey.
Good. Hey, can you introduce yourselves? Let everyone know who you are, and then we'll get started right away with TPR.
You want to go first?
Sure, I'll go. Hello, everyone. My name is Teacher Cynthia. I've been with VIPKid for 2 years. In April now, I'm on my 4th contract. Before working for VIPKid, I was a brick and mortar teacher. I'm certified ESL in the state of Illinois, and I taught in English and Spanish in my classroom for 5 years before starting a family. That's a little bit about me.
Excellent. Amanda?
Hey, I'm Amanda Panda Teacher. Visit my website, amandapandateacher.com. I've got a YouTube channel, great resources for online teachers. I work hard to support teachers, whether brick and mortar, preschool teachers, outschool teachers, how to integrate technology and the right tools to teach engaging classes and bring kids back for more. Glad to be with you.
Awesome. And I am like a floating head today. I've tried many backgrounds, but I decided to wear blue and it does not go with any of my backgrounds, but you all know me. So let's check the chat really quick. We have Mindy. Hey, Mindy. She said, hi, all. And Kathy is here. She said she saved laundry folding for now so she can listen while she works. Awesome. That's what I do too sometimes. Mindy said she's sewing and listening, multitasking at its best. Rebecca, listening in while my kiddos are at the playground. Awesome. Thanks for coming, everyone. And my niece Alexis is here. Hey, Alexis. And Rebecca said, Casey, your shirt's so funny. I know. And I had green on, so I made sure to switch the green, but then I didn't. Ooh, hey, there I am.
There's pop the color.
But then I didn't. Oh, okay. But then I didn't think about not wearing the blue. So that's what we have today. Awesome. All right, so let's talk about TPR. Now, some teachers think TPR is just the teacher using their body language. So we really wanted to talk about that today. Does anyone want to give kind of a definition of that today? Okay.
Cynthia, go.
Okay, so I was going to say, when I was trained, and this is my background on it, when I was certified as an ESL teacher, it's gone from nonverbal to verbal. So I've seen the full spectrum on that. When I was trained in TPR, it was total physical response. That was your teacher, you're showing vocabulary through your body, through actions to bring across what that word means to a child. With VIPKid, through some awesome workshops and some awesome mentors, I've learned VIPKid has kind of put what they call their own spin on it. So they're taking a little bit more ownership on it with the ITPR, or instructional total physical response, which has grown to include in their definition that you're getting the child to act it back to you and also verbalize what it is to show that they understand what you are acting out for them, to bring that definition full circle.
Yeah, so it is the response. And the important thing we want to let everybody know today is you need that response for, yes, total physical response. I put the response in caps too, Rebecca. We want the kids to respond. That's their way of showing they understand as well. So when we can get them to respond or do what we're doing, they are starting to comprehend that word. So Amanda put her link in the chat box. You have a video on that, Amanda?
I do, but I'm also going to paste into the chat box the definition of like what it is from the dictionary from Google search, what TPR is. I'll read it out loud. I'm in the middle. I have to cut it down because it's so long. Basically, TPR was created by an American psychologist, James Asher. It's based on the experience of how students learn, or how humans learn their first language. You see, when children learn their mother tongue and their parents and caregivers, they're physically involving them and imparting language with them with their bodies. That's the physical part. They demonstrate and then instruct, and the child responds in kind. So what people say, and the history behind, is that TPR is from language development, developing by small children watching you and doing it. So that's what TPR is from the dictionary.
Perfect. So yes, getting the response. That's all I just keep going back to. Shannon maybe would be so proud. Have you taken her workshop?
I
Definitely,
have
many times. Yep.
Yeah. If you haven't taken a workshop from her, she is great at explaining things and getting that TPR and teaching you about TPR and showing you TPR. So, or how to elicit that response back.
So
Okay, you got the
true definition of TPR is the body of the teacher doing it or the parent and the student reciprocating. So often in our ESL classes, we're teaching older students or kids that think it's not so cool. They're very in their regular school, they sit in a chair. They don't move their body beside raise their hand. They are very demure and quiet and still. So it's very odd for them to come into the ESL class and for us to expect them to be moving their hands and doing hand motions with us. So there are certain things that I use the classical definition of TPR where really I do it and the student does it. For example, like short, shorter, shortest. All of those are opportunities, big, bigger, biggest, where I really make the child do it with me. In the lower levels, the small kids, they are totally into TPR.
Yeah.
But when you get to the upper levels, they don't want to reciprocate. So that's not the real true definition of TPR. So Cynthia said TPR, instructional TPR. So that is really what we do. I'm doing it right now. Hello, I can't turn it off. So it's all of that while we're talking and speaking, it's using our hands to incorporate and help to instruct and teach so that we're not just sitting in the class talking with our hands down here. My hands are in motion all the darn time. I'm running, I'm talking, we're speaking, we're going to see the world. The sun is shining. Every single thing I do, my hands are in motion because it really helps them to learn and to see me doing that with my hand to support them. My hands are powerful. So
the first time I met you, Amanda, I was like, wow, she is TPR queen. Our very first live together, we did an interview. That's awesome. Let's see. Yes. Rebecca said my 18-month-old is learning her first words and I get to use TPR in action like the definition says. Yeah, I think that's great. So also we were talking in the group about the older kids. I don't expect them to always respond, but I definitely try to get them to respond. You know what I mean? If they do great, but I don't expect it. Just because like you said, they don't a lot of times, but some do. The kids, the little ones.
I have a 13-year-old and he is cool and his voice is starting to change. And so he's becoming a man. He's level 6. Girl, he is not going to TPR with me, even though he thinks I'm funny and hilarious and I do crazy things and I come with rainbows and sparkles and he deals with me because of my style. That's how I am. But for him, no way. He's not going to TPR with me.
I have a 14-year-old in beginning starlights.
Oh,
that's a hard one. So, but he definitely needs my TPR because he can read, but he doesn't understand what he's reading. So everything, and he'll show me that he doesn't understand certain words, and I have to physically show him what I can. But he will sometimes do it back, and then he laughs at himself and gets embarrassed. Cynthia, what age groups and levels do you teach?
I've been getting the certs as soon as they're offered to me. When I started, I was 2, 3, and then I've branched out from the pre-VIPKid, new level 1, up through 7. Just added the book reports. I was a reading specialist in my classroom, so I really love that. My primary focus is the little kids. I love teaching the children to learn how to read. And then once they're older, now I've been having so much fun with the older students, the 12, 13, 14. And Amanda, I am totally up for a challenge. So you can send your students my way because I am Italian. So when we play games together, a group of teachers and you have to act out a word only using your language and not your hands, it's very hard for me to do that. And I often have to turn off my camera or sit on my hands so I'm not acting it out. But it is so much fun to, you might know the vocabulary word clap in the lesson where you have to get, it's really funny if you say clap, clap. And then if you don't do it, you're like, clap. And then they will like be like, oh, teacher. And when they do it for you, it's really cute that, you know, they can show you that they're understanding what you're saying, what you're doing. And then like Amanda pointed out with like the math vocabulary, that can be really challenging for students because if they see the language, where Amanda said big, bigger, biggest, it's really tricky if they don't have that concept down when you go from small, smaller, smallest. If you're not teaching it the right way, oh, teacher, small, smaller, smallest. No. Small, smaller, smallest. It's really tricky for some students if they haven't gotten the TPR from the teachers the right way, if they always think it goes this way and not necessarily a small car, a smaller car, the smallest car, and bringing in props if TPR is failing for some purposes. I've had to do that too, if they're just not getting the connection with the TPR on some things.
And really, verbs are easy to get some TPR for you to show your body language and to get some in return. I mean, verbs are run, jog, you can do, I do that all day long, sing, dance, but things, I mean, you're right, greater than, less than, some of these other words that we have to try to come up with ideas is a little bit tricky. So
Definitely.
let's see. Hey, we have more in the chat. Say hello. Well, more on here. I see 13 people. Come say hello. Let us know who you are. And are you a teacher? And do you practice TPR in your classroom? I'd love to know. Is this like, I had never heard of TPR as a kindergarten teacher. This was just not until I got involved in ESL and VIPKid that I heard the TPR or the term TPR. I mean, I think as teachers, a lot of us just use our body language and try to get the kids to do what we do, you know? So,
it was a long time. I'm thinking like it was a very long time ago that I was trained as a teacher in brick and mortar school. So I'm trying to think like in my teacher, like professional development when I started or in my school district, did I learn about TPR? I think it's just something that I did because like I used to use class rules. So like rule number 1, listen to the teacher. Rule number 2, raise your hand to speak. Rule number 3, stay in your seats. Don't wander around the room. So like I think I've just been doing that because naturally that was just part of the culture in my classroom. I think that TSL or TPR is definitely an ESL strategy. So when you are ESL trained, coming from brick and mortar into ESL, I upped my game where my hands are in motion all the time, but I was doing that in my brick and mortar class already. I'm the singer. So like in my class, we sang a bunch of songs. Every transition had music, all in the speakers in my classroom. Like that's how my brick and mortar teaching was. So you do bring parts of that into your ESL experience for sure. But I think if you're new, my best advice is definitely take workshops, watch YouTube videos. I have helpful videos on my channel. I just made one this last week about TPR. It is really powerful. And really, a lot of people are asking, like, why are people rebooking your class? Why are they coming back to you? It's when you have all those elements together perfected that really, like, a parent sees you in a class and they're like, bing, that's a good one. We're coming back for more. So it's all about those skills you have to get down. TPR is one of them. Feedback is one of them. Props usage is one of them. Extension. So like this is one of the basics that you got to get down to be successful in the online teaching classroom, and not just ESL. So like, let's say you're an online preschool teacher. If you are the online preschool teacher that talks like this to your students, let's go, here we go. But like, let's go, here we go. Look at the difference on how engaged. I said this last week on the live, and Casey carries it around in her pocket. We are the size of toast. So think of looking at Toast, being engaged by Toast. We are not very interesting because we are super tiny size. I'm a big girl. So when you're in my class, like it's loud and noisy. I'm Puerto Rican. Like I'm playing in pots and pans and singing and dancing. Like it's totally different being with me in my room. But on the internet, I've got to play that up in my online classroom. So TPR is very powerful.
Yeah, I give you credit for the Toast thing all the time. I do use that now because it's easy to, it's a quick visual for teachers to understand why some of these things sound so little, but are so important to engage these kiddos. So yes, we are Toast and I'm sticking to it. Let's see, Mindy said, where is she? Mindy said, my pre-K group trial babies have no clue what to do with TPR. Yeah, I think TPR was training provided for ESL teachers. I also used TPR in the kindergarten classroom and did not even know it. Yeah, exactly. Mary, Casey, so sorry that I missed this. I had a super long nap. Sounds like you've got this covered, but could jump on if you need. Hey, Mary, join us. We'd love to have you. I hear banging on my door and I might need to go get my puppy in before he destroys the door. So, other thoughts on TPR, or what kind of things do you do in your classroom to engage kids? What do you think?
So I could totally piggyback on what Amanda was saying with TPR and everything about how when I went through my undergrad program, was it instructed to all of us? No, it wasn't until I started my ESL coursework towards that certification. But like Amanda said, I'm Italian. So like we just always grew up speaking with our hands. Like that's just, it's part of your personality. And I think that's why some of our students keep coming back to us. And so I totally agree with you on that, Amanda. In my classroom, I love acting things out. And I think that's why I like a lot of the little kids are drawn to me. And then when I get to be with the older high school, junior high students, I'm not cool, but I think that they like that because I think it's more relatable in the classroom. So I totally agree that at that point, if they have that comprehension, then some of the TPR isn't as necessary if they've already grasped the language concept. Because for me, when I was learning, TPR is more for the language acquisition process. When students are being immersed in it when they're little, if you look at a kid and you say clap, and you're just staring at them, clap, 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 something like that. Or like you said with walk, or using the puppets and bringing them in, jump, jump, and big and little and things like that. Just having a lot around you readily available in your classroom, I think is really important too, because if the TPR is not something that they're interested in, I've noticed that some of my students, like the parents book you because you look like you're so much fun. But if I sense that, wow, I might be a little bit too fun or too loud or too outgoing for a child, I have to tone it down a little bit, bring it down. And then if I go in a little bit at a time, then they start coming in like, okay, teacher. Yeah. So there's definitely a learning curve on it. I would definitely throw that out there. Because like you guys said, some are going to want to do it right away. Some will catch on. It's like, it's going on, to me, I think it's kind of like going on stage. There's also some students that they get it on the inside, but they just might not want to do it in front of you. So there's also other things that you could check for understanding. It doesn't have to be that body language. So that's just my 2 cents on that.
I love it.
Okay, so
sorry guys,
Mindy in the chat box, Mindy says maybe you should do examples of TPR. Okay, so let's play a TPR game. I'll start and I'll say a TPR word. I'll show you my TPR and then Cynthia and then Casey, and we'll all TPR it. Are you ready? What's your TPR for?
It depends.
No, it won't be hard. I'll make it easy. What's your TPR for run? Here's mine. Oh,
I have a standing desk, so I run.
All right, Cynthia, your turn. What's your, so you name the category.
Run. Oh, a different one? Okay, how about eat? Eat. Oh, Mary, I'm so happy you're here to eat. It's nice to see you.
My hands are on the side, so they're always on the side.
I have a bowl or a plate, and I just shove the food in.
Okay, Casey, your turn. Category.
Well, I always have drink because I have my coffee, so that's an easy one for me. But I don't usually show my coffee. I just go, 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 go.
That's my drink.
For drink, I will grab
that. I was gonna say that is definitely one. I won't just go like that because it's like, teacher, what? Like some students, they don't get it. I go, oh, like thirsty, and then they get it. Oh, and then they grab their cup too. So I'm like, ding ding.
It depends. It depends because you know that whole thing where that one teacher got dinged for drinking in the classroom. They said like, I don't know. And so I've always thought of that. That was right when I was getting started. And so that's always kind of stayed with me like, don't be drinking coffee in the classroom. But
with that one, I find, I don't know, did that come from the parents or did that come from?
It was from the parent.
Yes. I mean, I think if you're showing something and it's related to the vocabulary, water, drink, it's totally
thirsty.
Fine. Thirsty.
Sometimes I've had it where the student will initiate it because typically, Casey, with that instance, that might be from a parent that might not want their own child to drink. But if I see with many of my level 1s and level 2s, if they're eating audibly at the table and the child is thirsty and gets a cup, and then like mom or dad either goes to take it away or doesn't, I say, oh, are you thirsty? And I go like that, it's okay. And then sometimes I just let them know, like, if you've been at school all day long and you are thirsty at 9 p.m. when you're with me, it's okay.
Yeah. They're always eating in class.
I think here's my solution for the drinking problem. Not a drinking problem like that kind, but once parents trust you, you can take sips of water and drink in class. I use this container on purpose because it has a straw and here's my mouth. It is not covered and I can go fast and it's gone. I cannot go 25 minutes with my inflectional tones in my voice and talking without drinking. But imagine if you're a teacher that's using a regular cup, sorry, it's green screen funny, and you're like this.
All through the lesson. See your mouth.
All through the lesson. And you drink maybe 5 times. Like this. How's that perception to the parent? Like, are you there drinking your drink or are you're teaching? I sneak it in while the kid's reading. Here I go.
Yeah. That's when I drink too. Is
when 1 second. Reading. So it's all about your personal class experience.
Instruction. Totally agree. Yep.
Okay, back to TPR.
I've never had negative feedback either. So
Mindy said you're up, Mindy Mary. Wants to know what type of drinking problem, Amanda.
Oh, sorry.
See, there's English for you.
I'm really happy every night.
Now I'm thirsty.
Okay, Mary, you got the category. Get category, and then we'll show you our TPR.
Okay, great. Swimming.
Oh yeah.
I'm like this.
Normally I don't have a green screen, so you can see my shirt. And I wear orange, so.
Okay, I got one for you that's harder. Should. How do you TPR should?
I'd be should.
I don't know. Should.
Question.
I usually do TPR with combinations. So like I teach them like, should I walk to school? Should I run in the classroom? Should not. So I teach them should and should not to teach the difference. So should I walk to school? Yes. Should I run in the classroom? No. So I teach the opposite. That's how I get them to understand. That's a tough one. Okay, we're back to you,
That goes
Cynthia.
to the sitting on the desk lesson too for should and should not.
Yeah.
Some of my students, they're allowed to do that. And I said, when I was little, we could not. So there's the fun English. Yeah.
I think Mindy should throw out some TPR ideas.
Chat box people, tell us what you want to see.
Okay, Cynthia, I think you're up.
Okay, let's think of another one. Okay, what would you guys do for, I'm trying to think of one that would be, oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, while you're thinking, I was going to say, don't forget in the chat box, if you're new, just joining us, TPR, we are trying to get the kids to respond. Some will, some won't, but the ultimate goal is Mindy, monkey.
Oh, you gotta have sound effects. I need to just keep my
hands up. Now I have my blue shirt.
It's your lighting.
Yep, it's my lights.
Is your window open on the side?
No.
No.
So here's another one. How do you guys TPR want? What do you do in your classroom to teach or get your students to show you want?
I usually have a noun afterwards. I want an apple. I want whatever it is I want. Or do you
I want
Show
cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we've had it where it's synonymous for like. Do you like cake? Do you want, like Casey went like this, do you want cake? Hold it up as an offering. That's a really tricky one where a lot of students will go for that synonymous word. And it's like, if you want to go for meaning, act out a synonym, because if they get the synonym, it shows their understanding.
I do this for favorite too. What
I
is
do
your
too.
favorite color?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do too.
But nouns, a lot of times, since I have so much junk, I usually have every noun on my desk. I mean, let's face it, I've got a monkey, I've got an apple. So a lot of the nouns, I don't use a lot of TPR. I use props.
But in terms of using the verb want, what do you want? What do you prefer?
Right. I was just reading in the chat.
Oh, sorry, I can't see your
She
chat.
went monkey, I went back to that. So yeah. Yep. Dance is my favorite.
Casey, it's your turn. Oh, dance.
What?
I dance
Yeah.
too, just like
I
that.
just dance. I'll dance all day long. I was a Zumba instructor. But
Mary, you got a groovy dance.
And we got to get it on.
give me music, I'll dance, but I won't sing. I don't know why. It's so funny.
I have to tell you a funny TPR moment. So I was TPRing run, but I must have been really overzealous because my hand was going like this in the air as I was showing run. And my student was like, boxing? And I was like,
Oh, for punch.
yeah. I was doing run, but I was like, because I was like, he must have thought, and then he was like, are you
look
boxing?
like you're punching.
Yeah, he thought I was
Right.
punching.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely do TPR with animals though. Yeah. But I have a noun. I have pretty much all the animals, all the fruits and vegetables there too. Because I don't just stick with one way of teaching. I definitely think kids learn by doing, seeing, and hearing. You know, they all these kids are so different. They need, you know, all the different ways to learn. They need all of those strategies. So I will say it, I will read it, I will show it, I will act it out. I think I've mentioned this on here before, but for example, my daughter is an auditory learner and I'm a kinesthetic learner. I need to touch, I need to do it. I need to physically do it myself. If you just try to show me something, I tend not to be able to pick it up easy. But I was trying to give my daughter things and have her touch them and hold them. But then we took a little test that the teacher gave us and found out she was auditory. So what we started doing was, like, for reading and things, she could listen to the book and listen to things to pick things up. But here I am, like, here's physically everything I can throw at her touch. And that's just not the way she learns. So I've just learned to act it out, tell it, show it any way I can. So, and it helps because some of those slides are redundant, right? So this morning I had, what is it? A puppy grows to be a dog.
A puppy changes
Goes
by
up to be-
growing.
Yeah, so I had that one over and over and over again. So here's my dog. Here's my plant that's showing grow. Here's this. Let's show this slide, this flashcard. So
And that's another example, Casey, you bring up that's really good about how TPR really lends itself just to language and labeling too. Because again, if the kid is not grasping or not wanting to be on your stage yet, just take that extra time that they're giving you, maybe silent period or not silent, like if they're in between. And I'm a huge fan of labeling everything, like extend by labeling the written word, because you can say it and you can hear it, but if you never see horse as horse and you hear house and you didn't see R and not the U, big change. Like I have had so many light bulb moments with that word alone, house, and then show my horse, not the same, different.
that's a good way for same and different too.
That's
I do. This is same and this is different for me.
Yeah, of course. Same, different. I do this. And that. Yeah.
I pretty much just show two things that are the same. I have stars on my desk, two that are the same, and then different, you know, two things that are different. And that's pretty much, I just keep swapping out things. Are these the same?
Yeah, I do that too.
My ASL fails me sometimes. I knew the basics of the American Sign Language, so I try to remember as much as I can because my mom used that a lot with her students that had special needs. And I try my hardest to remember everything she taught me. and I fail.
And the same and the different, it applies when I do math at the very lower levels, but in like level 4 and 5, when we start reading two different stories and we compare what's the same and what's different, I'm verbally asking them the question, because a lot of the academic language is not explicitly taught in VIPKid in the curriculum. So we'll come across a word like same or different or compare. Hello, we never teach them the word necessarily, the word compare in the context. So that same and that different really applies. So the TPR goes up to the upper levels, but I'm doing it. I'm not having the kid follow after me. I'm not making my 13-year-old go same and different to compare stories, but my hands are always doing the teaching as well as my voice, as well as the written, like Cynthia said. So you're all pulling it always in together. So
yeah, Amanda, you bring up a really good point with how the language in the literature and the nonfiction stories connects back to that math, because we'll do equal and not equal very early on with VIPKid, where that's directly taught, which lends easily to same and different, like you said. But when you get that word similar, if they don't have a strong grasp of what something is, that's the same. And then you talk about how is this text and this text similar and different, then if you don't know what similar is, then it's hard, because then you find yourself, if you don't have that language, you can't check for comprehension.
Yes.
So
excellent. So Lisa, great question. Lisa said, how do you teach the difference between the noun park and verb park? I would totally show a picture of a park in my car park.
Yep, that's what I do too.
But I'm not at my desk right now. It says teacher Casey, but I lied. I'm not in my classroom.
So I think a picture of a park.
The car.
Yeah, and a car.
And parking a car. That's what I would do too.
I don't think that's
like
something you could TPR.
The kids always like to swing at the park or slide. There's a slide somewhere here.
I do that one too. Swing.
I have a little play.
Cute.
The little panda, so like a slide to play.
Do you like to play at the park?
Lisa, I would use a GIF. Fun. We had this comment, is it GIF or GIF? And it's subjective, so no matter what you guys say.
I say GIF and I say Giphy as the website where I find all of those.
Yeah. So, but GI is supposed to be J. My husband and I had this conversation recently, and we talked about it on one of these as well. So I don't know the true way to say it.
There's always exceptions, you can tell your husband.
Yes.
Right? Always exceptions to the rules. That's awesome. I mean, gosh, I don't even know what else to ask. Oh, I do right now. VIPKid is doing a TPR thing. Did you guys see that? The back to, what was it? Back to cool. Is anybody doing that? I missed it. I know Rebecca was looking into it. Rebecca, did you take your quiz on it? She said there was a quiz, so she wanted to watch and see what it was talking about. Oh, and she said TPR understand.
I touch my head.
Do you understand?
Yeah. And then I write something very simple like 2 + 2. And they all know 2 + 2 is 4, even the little tiny ones. So I write 2 + 2 = 4, and I hold it up on a whiteboard, and then I'll say, I understand. And then I'll write something really confusing in math, like 1,000 times 1,000. I'll hold it up and, oh no, I don't understand. And so it's a lot about differences. So like showing the positive and the negative of both sides of things to really help them to understand what it is. And that's the power of one-on-one teaching, because right at the point where they do not understand, I can really take an example and build on that part of the lesson, extend the time or shorten the time in the areas they really know, and then really focus on the ones that they need help with.
Yeah. It's so weird. I'm like, but I find myself going, a lot. And I'm like, when did I start this? I don't know what this is.
I do this, like thinking.
Like,
and it travels. What do you think?
The head, the mouth. I'm always talking. Maybe that's the thing. It comes out the mouth.
I don't know if you, go ahead.
Oh, I was going about questions. Like if I'm asking a question, I'll often, what do you think? Or how to really get my body to show them that that's and my inflectional tone of my voice, that's a question too. So it's all about, it's like it's hands, body, it's everything. It's your whole body, physical responding and helping the student.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, and I don't know, I don't know if you covered this before I got on, but sometimes I have students that don't want to do the TPR with me. But if you grab a toy, get the toy to do it, it's just as much fun for them. So whether they have a doll or a stuffed animal and you get them to run, like as long as they're finding a way to do it physically as well. And some kids just won't do it at all. But I do find that sometimes bringing in a prop that they can use helps them act it out. And that's the whole point, right? That they're having a physical way of doing it too.
That's right. I did have lead the other day in class, and Meg and Mike, my puppets. You know, Meg was the leader and Mike was the leader.
Follow, yeah.
Yep.
My favorite to do with that is the duck and the baby ducks for follow. The kids always love that one.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, you have baby ducks too.
The top toy.
Yep.
Best.
So cute.
I love it.
Mindy said there's Dino U on TPR, and another thing that is a quiz, and you can earn prizes or tokens. I did both. Awesome. So if you're a VIPKid teacher, go check out the Dino U. There's one on TPR. Awesome. Lisa said I also a lot.
Oh, I want to add one more thing about songs. So a lot of people don't know strategies on how to teach the songs that we do. Now we have all of the music for some of them, but before I had to wing it and just sing my own version. So I actually taught so many times a lot of the songs. I have TPR. I use TPR and props for the songs. So like a level 2 unit, I think it's 9 now. They changed the number. So I take a plane across the ocean. I think about what I will bring. I'll go to America one day, just my family. There's my family and me. So I do that same TPR from the very beginning of the lesson all the way to the end. I don't necessarily make my students sing it, but at the very last classes of that unit, they know it. And so we TPR and sing it together. So like there's lots of strategies to really build in extra practice. TPR is not just for the lesson slides, it's for all the songs. So you saw TPR with props all in combination. So
I found it interesting. So a lot of times when I like sing and try to get the kids to sing, don't mind my tulip, I don't have my microphone and stuff's in my classroom, but I will like sing and then give it to them and they'll just look at me. But if I go la 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 and then put my hand up, they will start la 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 and then copy the rest of the song.
Yep.
But when I start with just the song, they don't. So I just la la la, lulu, bibbity bobbity.
That's
Get your
always
kids to say bibbity bobbity at least once. It is the cutest thing, like bibbity bobbity. I love it. They're so cute. So, but I find to get them to repeat, just show them, and then they get the microphone. And if they don't repeat right away, I do la la la, and then they start repeating, and I'm like, okay, that worked. Yes.
The students in their curriculum that they study in the lower levels in primary school, they take music class. And a lot of their music-based learning is singing. So that's why there's so many songs. Hello, you never realize why VIPKid makes certain choices in the lower levels. It's because the kids are used to instruction in singing. They learn a lot of English by singing the songs. They're teaching and singing English in music class. So really us bringing the music into our VIPKid classes is a natural because they're already used to. I don't think I've ever come across a kid who won't sing with me. I don't know if I'm just jolly happy follow teacher Amanda wherever I go, but they really do. They really will sing. They love to sing. So
I'm so glad the songs are there now.
Yeah. I had one student before she went to school and she would not sing. And then once she got to school, kindergarten or whatever, and then a few weeks later, she started singing with me. But before she said, no. It's and now, yes, we have to sing everything. So that school influence really does make a difference for them.
Yes.
You just said no. And it just reminded me, guys, I told one to stop whining the other day in my VIPKid class. I had such a headache and he kept saying, no, teacher, I don't want to. And I was getting it was hurting my ears. And finally, and he's like, and I was like, stop whining. And then I was like, did he even know what whining is? But he stopped. So stop whining. I don't know. Here's my TPR. You want to give it back to me? I don't know. And then I was kind of embarrassed. I mean, I didn't really feel bad because he stopped. So he knew exactly what I was getting at. And I had to make it straight to the point because he was just doing it for like 15. It was just, I was done. I was just done. And he's like, he knew what needed to be done. He was just being goofy but not in a funny way. You know, he thought he was funny. I was like, stop whining. Oops. Anyway, he told me no. No, I don't want to. I'm like, yeah, then you don't get a star. Oh no. He's like, I'll do it. Okay. So anyway, stop whining worked. My little 2 cents. Oh, I felt embarrassed after, but hey. All right. Well, I think that's it for the chat. Anything else? TPR, get a response or try to get a response. If they don't respond, like Amanda pointed out earlier, some just won't. But some will and will respond and repeat everything you do and say.
Definitely.
Yep. When you can't get them on stage, bring a toy.
Yes, good
A
point.
prop to elicit the TPR, whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more TPR tip before we run away. So
Love it.
TPRing the reading. So like if we're reading k and at, where we're reading in level 2, the initial sound and the blend sound that we read, I TPR with my hands. So I say k, at, and then my hands like this, cat,
Okay.
and I like do a little whoop out in the air. So that's really effective. I do make the little small ones do it with me. So I train them in the very beginning of level 2 classes to do it with me. By the end of level 2, they don't need it anymore because they got the reading down, but it really helps them to see and break apart the 2 separate sounds and then blend together. So
Yeah,
that's
I
my
do
last.
mine are
this and that, like this.
It depends. I've done this when they go
That's what I
together
do
or
too.
clap.
Yep.
It depends. If they're silly, they like to clap. I don't know what it is. So
A really common one in the primary grades now is k, at, cat. If you're doing each sounds, I know in VIPKid, like Amanda said, it's that word, they're already at the word family because they're really good at decoding. So they're already at the k, at, cats to blend it like that. But a lot of them like to do the arm thing. I don't, because I like to keep it right here nice and close like you do, Casey. K, at, put it together, cats, and they get it. And a lot of my students, I had one girl that I started level 1 and now she's almost level 3 and she's really good with it. She'll do it like exactly how I do. I'm like, oh, mini teacher, good job.
I just want to show you this prop because this has been awesome. So you put your, and then you just rotate.
Word family blocks, yep.
Yeah, and they're just so nice because they wipe off and you're done.
am I unmuted?
Dino principle too, where, and again, sorry for the light now, but the Dino Mouth where you put the word family here and then you would put the letter in and it would spin and it would change. That was one the little guys really liked a lot.
Yeah, that is in the teacher portal too, if somebody wants to print that out. It's like a little wheel thing that you can use.
Yeah, and on the back, I just put a little, if I hold it up close, there's a little Brad there.
Yep.
And then on the back, it's 2 pieces.
Yep.
We showed them one time on here. I have a ton of them that I bought on Amazon. I love those. I use those a lot. I did with the older kids a lot, but Rebecca said banana versus Balala. Lots of repeating for that one. Banana.
Oh, I have a really tiny level 2, very beginner, and 4 and more. Oh my goodness. I thought I was going to fall out of my chair. Like, how many times can I say more and or? It was really hard because they really do sound so similar. And she's used to 1, 2, 3, 4. She's got that one. But this more word, what is teacher talking about? It was rough. So I just remember in classes like that where I'm really struggling just to kind of get the kid to do the best that we can, practice a few times, and then I circle back to it at the end and practice a few times again. I write it out. I do a lot of different things to strategize, and then I just let it go because developmentally her mouth is not ready. I think she must be 4. She's tiny in the beginning of level 2. So like her mouth to even form the sounds to say that or, oh my gosh, difficult.
Yeah.
So I think banana and balala, like all of those mistakes that they make really will be perfected over time. It takes time. It's not just one class that they'll get it.
Yeah. You know, definitely work with them, but what's that?
It's interesting what you're saying, Amanda, because today I have one student who has difficulty forming the initial sounds, especially M and N. And So it's often confused. So what I've started to do is have them listen to something I'm saying and write the first sound. So then I know that, like, I was trying to discern, can he hear me properly? Or is it just the formation
output.
issue, the output?
Yeah, it's
So-
really hard to explain tongue placement. I have a little boy too who has the same thing with the g sound, and mom gets it. We've talked many times about, I said, he's doing great. His tongue is just not there yet. He's just got to get that tongue back there. Try to explain how to say g or k.
Yeah, it's
Like, look at your
in the
mouth.
throat.
G. It looks identical. Where is your tongue? Try to explain. It's like, put it back. We can tuck this off of your mouth. So it's one of those things where when it's a regular student, we have that benefit of writing the note to ourselves, and we have that spiral of review. So I knew I was like, he'll get it. And now he's there. But it's that wait time for teachers where we just want to perfect it with them, and it takes time.
My last year of kindergarten in Germany, I had 5 students on speech IEPs, and the G, of course, is tons. So she gave me a sheet where we said like 5 words every day and pointed, and they eventually got it. But that's tricky for many youngins.
Yeah.
Many.
Letter ST is very hard for my first grader. Upstairs, stairs is hard for him. He still says upstairs, and not the sta. So hello, his mom's an English teacher. So we've been working on it for a real long time, but like developmentally, that doesn't develop until age 7 or 8 in English speaking native speakers.
Exactly.
So if you add that into like ESL kids, just know that we're expecting things of them before even their physical mouth and their body is ready for it. So
yeah. Interesting points. Love it.
The ing sound, the ing. Yeah, that can be hard for them too.
I have a whole lesson on that for kindergarten. It just reminded me, we have a whole like fun game and everything. If I find it, I'll send it to you. Awesome. Well, that's all I have, friends. Thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I love having you all here. And thank you in the chat, Mindy and Rebecca and Lisa, Kathy. Kathy's folding laundry. I hope you got it all done. And Alexis was here. Did I miss anybody? Thank you all for coming so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. So, are you still streaming?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask any 3 of you a real quick question? This is not necessarily for streaming, but
I can turn it off if you just give me a second.
Okay,
all right,
cool.
everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Cool. So I'm coaching a set of twins in